fine. No, but speaking of CVT on Belgian Prestige, you know, we saw a very, very, very eco-focused opening from Blink.
Mm.
And we were just continuously amazed by how much more eco cheese it could possibly get, but he just kept on improving on it all the time. And I don't think that's as much of a good thing on this map. It just entails a much larger risk,
Mm.
and the reward is not as high.
Um, I'd have to agree with that. Especially, you know, three command center builds on this map are not as effective. I mean, they're still effective, mind you, but not as effective. Certainly not with a command center first, as on the previous map, just because of the layout on the map, because of how the bases are placed. You know, on the previous map, you can get that pocket expansion really easily. As a Terran player, you can fly that CC from your main basically down a couple of meters and you have a third. Here you have to fly it all the way from your main across the natural to the third, and it's way more vulnerable there. Actually, come to think about it, when you're going with a command center first, I'm really surprised that Blink did not go with a mech composition the previous game, given that it was on Newkirk Precinct, because place tanks on the high ground above the third base, bam, defend it.
Yeah, I do sort of agree with you. I mean, it's by no means a map which is bad for bio. It's just that mech has, you know, the things which make mech strong are sort of multiplied on that map.
Uh-huh.
On this one, sort of the opposite, I would almost say.
Well, you know, this map is of, I'd say it's of the variety where you can play very many different styles. You can play a mech here. Actually, a lot of Terrans have been playing because you have a very high amount or decently high amount of very good tank positions on this map. Be it defensive positions where you can cover a large area with just one or two tanks sieged up, or offensive positions, you know, which are practically the same points just on the other side of the map. And oh,
Oh no, really? Oh, that's just annoying.
oh,
And I
that
mean,
is.
if microed correctly, this SCV will probably not ever die, and a couple of drone kills just might be forced out.
Well, so far, Daax is doing a pretty good job of avoiding any damage. And whoa, that SCV,
Oh,
man, that SCV.
target. Oh, it's so hard to target fire that SCV. No,
Oh,
there.
oh,
Oh,
oh! It finishes. The
oh,
bunker finishes. Are you freaking kidding me? Last hit on the SCV.
that
12 Blinks in production, 2 Reapers inside the bunker though. And if Blink in some way can get a couple more SCVs there for repair purposes, just to keep this alive a little bit longer, this is going to be really annoying for Daax
this
to
is
deal with.
just. I mean, I don't think for. Oh, actually,
Oh!
it's around. I was just about to say that Dax can't really do anything about this. He's gonna take some further damage, but no. He does pump up those things, and they get a great double Reaper surround. However, if we analyze the situation, was that worth its cost? And I would say yes, yes,
Yeah.
several times over. Actually, he got those drone kills. He forced all those lings. He basically forced the queen out of the main for some time, probably missing an inject, and even that spine kill, I think. No, the spine cancel, I should say.
Yeah, the queen did miss an inject indeed. And well, everything you said right now is pretty much true. So very nice recap of what happened so far. And now Daax, he's just going to try to bust this, but that's not going to work. And look at this, Blink so confident that he's not actually going to be getting a reactor onto that factory and getting Hellions. He'll just wait for the first 2 Marines because he knows repair can keep him alive for the time being. And this time he's just going to continue on with pretty classic Marine tank play, taking his expansion and then gradually taking his third base, only just now taking a second gas.
Yeah, I would say almost that he fears what could have come last game. You know, the roach heavy, but also with Baneling, Speedlings, focused aggression.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes the factory on, or sorry, the tech lab on factory, actually only getting one tank for this specific purpose. Maybe I'm wrong though. He seems to be not so reluctant to switch around on the add-ins, so he's definitely at least mediocre good at improvising, and that's always a good
Mm.
trait.
Yeah, it is. And this one tank, it will be very, very useful later on. I would even argue that this position on this ledge on the other side of the ramp would be even better for the tank because you don't splash your own SCVs, never, and you can cover the same choke. Even better, actually,
Yeah, I
than
think
you're
that
doing
his
now.
intention was sort of to cover the mineral line, but I'm not really sure because it doesn't cover the entire mineral either. So it's
Yeah.
just a fairly weird positioning to say the least.
Basically, when you put tanks here and here, you're pretty much set to go. The ledge above the big ramp, leading into the natural.
Oh yeah,
The pocket you have right in front of the main ramp. If you put
yeah, I
tanks
can see it.
there, then pretty much anything coming up that ramp is going to be dead long before it gets up.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably the most common positioning to use when you have a low amount of tanks and want to defend your two bases. But
Oh,
our dear friend Terran Blink doesn't really go for it.
I'm just wondering. No, okay, it's not going to be banshees. Never mind. It's just that the starport is just really close to the barracks, so I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, you're
But
like
no,
not
he's
again.
just going to go. He's just going to go with a pretty standard
Yeah, and look
build.
at these drones just being roasted to death. Not many drones, but not many Hellions die either. So it's definitely good trading there for.
Yeah, 3 drones for 0
Yeah.
deaths on the Hellions. I'd take that anytime if I was a Terran.
Yeah, and I would also do it several times because multiply it just gets better and better.
Okay, so this is going to be a less of a crazy game than we have seen
Yeah, it
last
does
time.
seem a
So
lot more standard.
yeah, we see the Zerg going for a Ling Bling Mira and the Terran going for a very old school Wings of Liberty-esque Marine and tank, with upgrades, double upgrades actually, and well, going to take his third base, gradually add like 4 more racks later on as the game progresses, and it's all going to be just a dropping and splitting mayhem versus banings. Some of those do get wasted on the Hellions, though, not the most cost-efficient trade for the Hellions to make. And well, 4 Hellions do indeed survive and make it into the main base. At the same time, we have a small force trying to damage the third base, assaulting it there. The Hellions in the main have been taken care of, but the third base will go down before any defending forces can make it over there. So very nice move there by Blink, and then he just picks up and leaves. One thing I would have loved to seen actually was to just pick up and go straight into split it between natural and the main.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what actually happened there. I mean, Blink has focused more on producing units than going for the eco he went last game, and Daax has done the opposite. He didn't really have the units to split up there. And once again, the third is actually gonna go down. Meanwhile, we're seeing some Zerg units preparing for aggression, I think. And there's a low amount of tanks out, so actually he's not even going tanks. He's going
No.
for Bio Widowmine.
It's going by a Widow Mine, but there is not enough mines. And again, the Widow Mines are behind the wall. And this actually may damage the Terran more than it does the Zerg, because the Widow Mines will detonate and splash on the onto the Banelings and the SCVs. That was a oh my goodness!
Oh my god, that missile turret is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, that's so funny. And
This is
it does actually work out fairly well for Blink. He lifted up a lot of SCVs and moved them into the main, saving them from those impending banelings. And once again, taking out the third, and Daax realizes he can't really go any further. GG's out.
wow.